All right, boys, I am pumped. Market's pumping. Our guest is pumping. Let's hit the intro. Let's go.
Thiccy thought, he thought a lot about it. He knew the market was going down, GKR defeated when he tweeted. Thiccy thought knew that GKR was defeated. He shorted the market with all he had, 100x long bias by the ultra liquid. Now his network is ultra liquid. He tweeted, Thiccy thought knew that GKR was defeated. He shorted the market with all he had, buy the fear, sell the greed. One weird trick to win it all. This is how we win. All our coins are down to million.
All right, everybody. You can probably tell now from the intro what's happening. But the return of the king. I'm excited. It is a special time in markets, and hello, sir. Looking good as ever.
Thanks, dog. I wasn't expecting like my theme song to play.
It's so
I wasn't
good.
expecting.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
I'm surprised. I wasn't even planning on hopping on today. I was just calling Shorty and we were just talking about markets, and he was like, "You want to hop on the podcast?" And he just persuaded me.
little Jedi mind trick. Good to have you here. I mean, let's look at the market, because as we're talking, not everything, but Bitcoin specifically is ripping hard. 104 now, so kind of moving towards that all-time high. I saw this tweet. I don't know if you saw this, Thiccy. It's like every time Bitcoin has hit 100K and it says what the price of Ethereum is, and it's like 4,000, 3,800, 36, 34. Every time it's like lower.
There's a rough go.
Yeah. Obviously, like everything's around Trump right now. I think if we not having
Thiccy's famous trading alerts.
I forgot this was a thing. Hey, what's it say? Actually, the markets, dude, as soon as we had Thiccy on, the market started dumping. Is that a sign? What the fuck?
How much is dumping? So like 104 still. I mean, I think there's a long way to go to reach even where we were a couple of days ago. I really felt, I don't know if you thought this, Thiccy. I thought like when we were kind of at 90 that we weren't gonna be in for a good time, but it seems that this inauguration, specifically just hype around what Trump might do or say, has gone crazy. We've even seen these America coins pumping under the thesis that there will be a shitcoin reserve, because it's really important for the US government to have USDC just in case they need to redeem it for something. What do you make of these stories, just generally speaking?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of rumors and optimism on the U.S. government actually purchasing Bitcoin and putting it on their balance sheet, and I think it's spread to altcoins as well. I think the last leg of this, especially, is like very clearly a retail driven move. Yeah,
it's interesting. Like not everything is moving together. It seems like the AI stuff is taking a breather, while some of these Dino coins are up for another run. I saw this Litecoin ETF is like on track to maybe pass. I don't know who's going to buy it, but it might be an ETF.
Well, look, I mean, it's crazy. Litecoin has outperformed Ethereum by 20% year to date. I mean, just look at that. Absurd. It's because it's crazy to me. I mean, no one cares. People are not that interested in the Ethereum ETF. To think the Litecoin ETF is interesting it's surprising to me.
I think these things are so illiquid because they're not being traded that much. They're sort of forgotten coins that if a sudden retail bid comes in for, even if it's like $25-50 million, it'll just move the price up 20%. Is my read on it, and maybe I'm missing something else. Maybe institutions are buying or something, but that seems to be one scenario.
Yeah.
And then we can look at some of the other coins like XRP. That's been a controversial one. We're at 326, so it's not up today. It's kind of down today. But if you look at the last 7 days, in fact, I saw a metric that since 2019, XRP is now like vastly outperforming Ethereum. And there was this tweet here that, let's see which one is the best XRP tweet. We have a few, but this one from Titty Respecter. You know it's going to be a good one if the guy's called Titty Respecter, because he has his priorities. You have this like usual, how are you doing, son? How are your shitcoins doing? And then he says, looks like you should have bought a real coin like XRP. And you see Justin
think you just
crying
swiped Thiccy's pasta.
This is my pasta.
To find a replacement pasta.
I know, I'm scrambling now. Fuck. But it's kind of true, right? Because like I feel like I've told my friends to buy ETH and XRP is a scam, but like people that bought XRPs like has made way more money than people that bought ETH. So what the fuck do I know? You know?
Yeah,
I feel like we're in this echo bubble or CT bubble.
I think the chat is asking, is this, I guess, like setting up for a MOAS? And I just found out what that is, but is it MOAS season coming, or what do you think?
I guess I'll give a brief overview of the MOAS is what I call it. It stands for Mother of All Shorts, and I guess it's just like this idea that the trend is going to reverse, and like a lot of these coins are just a lot. They've gone a long way from home. Like XRP at 330 billion FTV, that's like the 20th largest U.S. stock in the world. It is crazy, when you look at what it's trying to replace. I don't know if your guys gonna have like Brad on the show, but like hopefully I don't offend him. But like if you're trying to replace like bank Swift transfers, like it only generates like $1 billion of revenue every year. So it's like trading at 330x multiple of like what it wants to replace, and it hasn't yet. So it's just like it's inevitable it's going to start trading lower at some point. I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I mean, look at this tweet from David Bailey. He's like, I don't know. One guy says like there'll be many stories. Don't believe everything. And he says, I don't know. I heard the Federal Reserve is now running FedWire 100% on XRP. So maybe I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. So where do you like go for it, Justin?
Yeah, I was gonna say like what are your thoughts here? I mean, crypto is very cyclical. It very much feels like we're getting towards the later part of the cycle where everything just goes up, and that's what we're seeing. Are you fading that? Are you positioned short right now, or do you think this market keeps going until musical chairs the game ends?
I think a lot of it is dependent on whether the government buys Bitcoin or not. I think there's like a misconception with. I think people like retail participants might think it's more likely than, I guess, CT native participants. Like everyone on the CT side I've talked to doesn't think it's going to happen. Whereas like I do think a lot of people that are buying Bitcoin and just crypto in general, this past 3 months since the election has been under the impression that like it's going through like a new paradigm, and maybe it just gets a lot more government adoption around the world. So. I don't know who's right or wrong. It's hard to say.
Let's look at the poly market. There's a poly market. I know it's not trading a ton of volume, but it's sort of been bouncing, I think, mainly around this like 35% level of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. But I haven't looked into, okay, it's gone up now 43%. It's a little bit more in the first 100 days. So it's also pretty specific on the timing. I don't know if it means a Bitcoin reserve. It doesn't mean they have to buy. It just means that they have to announce something, which could be holding coins, right? I don't know what this settles. Let's see. Holds any of coin.
No?
Okay.
Yeah, it has to buy.
It's quite wow. 43. Yeah.
But it's a small market. There's only $2 million of, it takes like 10K to move at 10%.
I see.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously will blow a lot of our minds if the government starts buying, like using their money, even though they're in huge debt of $34 trillion and they're in huge deficit every year. If they just say, okay, we're gonna take an extra, Ukraine war and buy Bitcoin, surely that cannot be bipartisan. But stranger things have happened. Who the hell knows at this point?
Yeah, and I think you have a question for you as well. Obviously, like, the past, I hadn't really talked to you in like 6 months. I think that's like the last time you were on. And since
It's been a
then,
while.
ETH has continued to be cucked. But like the AI meta, right? AI coins, it's kind of pumped. It's kind of pumped. Like, what do you think about the new AI agent meta? Do you think it's a vapor, right? Mother of all shorts. It's a perfect setup. What do you think?
I think it's just like another trend. I do think it's like a good. It's a better like sector to pump than just like meme coins. Like we've obviously seen, everyone leave meme coins, and like now it's like a meme coin with like, I guess, some semblance of utility. Just like it used to be L1s and DeFi protocols, and then it got really nihilistic, and now it's like a little bit less nihilistic. I still think like the level of scam and grift is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I don't really think I don't think the same coins that are doing well today are going to be doing well in 3 months or 6 months, but it's a step in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction.
And I have to ask, because I know a lot of people are wondering, what's your take on ETH now? I mean, it's underperformed tremendously. It's probably like a fairly small portion of everyone's portfolio now. Like we're seeing this being consensus on Twitter. Kane here says that if XRP flips ETH, it's really over for him. Like that's it. He's been telling you to buy ETH at 4K every time. This meme is like the eternal story of CT over the last couple of years, that Ethereum just can't catch a bid. So what's your perspective?
I have two theories on this that are kind of recently formed. Like
Okay.
One is that like I think ETH might be the Ripple of last cycle, in the sense that like when you look at 2021, like Ripple very much underperformed, despite it being like the darling of the 2017-2018 cycle. And I guess just like the narrative wasn't there. But it does set up, like, I think Ripple, the reason why Ripple is pumped especially hard this time was because it didn't pump that much last cycle. So there might be some sort of like skip cycle thesis where like it pumps every second cycle or something. With Trump coming into office, like this like deregulation thing, it really kind of nerfed decentralized protocols, right? It's like decentralization was always some sort of regulatory shield to have your token be traded without any regulatory ire. Granted, the SEC still did investigate Ethereum, but they never actually went after it as hard as they did with Ripple. But like now with Trump in office, like you don't really need to be decentralized anymore. You can just be a centralized scam, and like that helps other coins more so than it does ETH. So like I think there's like two reasons for why maybe ETH kind of cucked this cycle.
That's a valid point. The neutrality and decentralization is more valuable in certain cases rather than others. I have to say that there are a couple bull cases. One is it looks like we might get a change of leadership. Danny Ryan, maybe like the EF kind of becomes a little bit more up to the times and saving Danny Ryan. So this is good. Very hopeful. Obviously, it's not official. Nothing's happened, but it seems to have a lot of support and could breathe some new life. Obviously, Base is doing tremendously well, so that's you could consider that bullish. And then lastly, on your point of the AI meta, there is a case for like Ethereum being a good neutral layer for AI agents in general and sort of like this AI meta, because neutrality and like sovereignty and sort of trusted environments goes quite well with ETH. Like it's sort of what ETH was built for, and we've seen Eric.ETH kind of be very bullish on this combination working very well, and I think that kind of makes sense. We have seen some interesting takes around Solana and AGI. we have this clip here, if we can play it, where I think this is D Gods. This is Frank D Gods, and seems like some people think that AGI is happening on Solana. That's where it's going to happen. Can hear a little bit of this maybe.
I have this dark horse conspiracy that AGI might be happening in development right now, just as Solana, as a chain. What is like the definition of AGI? This idea of just like this all intelligent AI. And I think the swarms, what Eliza's doing, when these AI agents start talking to each other, they're all gonna have back rooms with each other. Zerobro and Go and Eliza and fucking Oli, whatever it is, when they start conversing with each other and they all have rabid real life human community and the incentives are aligned, you start to think like these guys are gonna get smarter as they start training.
So yeah. And you might think it's just
we can't play that when Thiccy's here. We cannot play clips like that when Thiccy's here.
Thiccy's gonna short all our AI coins now.
Yeah. Apparently, Shaw from AI16Z is if you click this one here from Thread Guy is like, he's the other guy in the clip. He was the guy on the right, and he's like, nobody actually believes that AGI is going to be developed on crypto. We understand OpenAI. And Shaw, who is supposed to be, this big AI16Z guy, says, I disagree. They have too much pressure to make it so and fit into their box. So, general intelligence will come from crypto, and it's not going to be OpenAI. And we see Udi just being like, come on, man. I don't know what's going on. I mean, surely, like, this is not serious. I mean, I understand that crypto has a role, and I actually believe very strongly that crypto does have a role to play in AI agents specifically, and it is a killer use case that will come about. It'll be as big as stable coins or bigger. It'll be like a very killer use case, but the tech is going to be done in Web 2. I think we're not dumb enough to know that the $1 trillion they're spending is not going to be outpaced by the butt plugs being done by, Eliza or whatever they're doing over there. So,
yeah, I mean, I think the reality is like this cycle's been pretty boring. If you think about it, it's just like Bitcoin pumped and some random shit pumps. So anything that has like a sign of life, we're going to try to pump the fuck out of it. I mean, it's been fun recently, but like last year was kind of lame, even 2023. Maybe it's because I was like 80% long ETH, and I was fucking angry. And
once you get out of the ETH only mindset, your world opens up. I can confirm that.
I'm curious. Like, I feel like the chat thinks Justin's like this ETH maxi, and he used to be this ETH maxi. But Justin, do you want to tell the audience how much ETH you own as part of your portfolio now?
Yeah, if you count like regular stocks and crypto, it's like 10%. So it's like becomes such a small part. I mean, we've had so many other outperformers that ETH has become such a small part of my portfolio. And, I've been talking to a lot of devs recently, and a lot of them, it just feels like ETH is losing mindshare. Like I think a lot of people in the Ethereum ecosystem think ETH is like above price and the price doesn't matter. But I actually think it is very important for getting people to care about Ethereum, right? Like if you're a new developer and you want to build on, you're deciding between Solana or Ethereum, you could say, I'll go to Solana. There's only one chain I have to worry about. The token's doing really well. There's a lot of mindshare there. People are excited. Or you can go to Ethereum, and then you have to say, well, do I believe in Base, Arbitrum, Optimism, Inc., Kraken's chain, all of these different L2s? Like I have to think about it, pick which one to go to. And there's sort of an open question of if L2s are even the right way to go, right? If Solana is working. And so with all of that in mind, I do think Ethereum's in a tough spot, and I think it does need to perform really well in 2025, or it could be in trouble. Obviously, it's not too late now. Ethereum is still the most widely used ecosystem, and I'm still bullish on it, love it. But I do think they have a lot of catching up to do. I was going to ask you, Thiccy, I know, it doesn't sound like you're long too much right now. You're a little sort of cynical towards the crypto space, which is justified. But ETH or Sol, like, do you have a strong feeling on what will overperform or outperform in 2025? I feel like I'm always pressing you to answer questions like that, and I'm curious if your views changed.
I'm not sure. I'm not really bullish on either of them.
Do you like Sui? Do you like anything, any chain?
I think Sui's overpriced.
Yeah.
I don't like any chain. No.
He likes the chain around his neck. That's the chain that he likes.
I'm bullish gold. That's what I'm bullish on.
Did you like Bitcoin, Thiccy?
Say again?
Do you like Bitcoin or?
Well, I guess like just the way I trade is very like delta neutral and like alpha driven. And I guess I just don't really, I've realized I just don't really care too much where the broader market really moves. As long as I can like, you know, pull my money out every month, then like it doesn't really matter. So, you know, my base case, assuming nothing happens, is always that, you know, crypto is an industry that like kind of bleeds lower because of the supply, and then like, you know, because of these catalysts, it might go up, it might like crash up. Whereas like equities are the reverse, where it kind of just grinds higher, and usually catalysts cause it to crash down. And so it's mainly just like being aware of what events are in the horizon and being ready to position around them. And like when you know nothing's going to happen, then like you just have a short bias, and you know, you get paid because of the funding rates. You get paid an extra like 10% a year just to be short. But yeah, that's my general motto. So I don't really have any like longer term targets on any of these coins. Like maybe someone like a long biased, you know, fund manager or like a fundamental person in the space might have.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, sort of. Let's look at this tweet, because I think you mentioned the nihilism of meme coins, and there was, you know, it's been in the back of my mind that given how meme coins work, with Ross coming out of jail, you know, this is what Trump said, he's going to release Ross, free Ross. It's going to happen. You know, Ross is going to be a character that I think might show up. It'd be like a Shkreli thing where he comes up and he obviously like a much better version, but you know, so there's going to be a tension, and then that means there's going to be a Ross coin of some sort that pumps because there's a tension. And yeah, here's the shitty thing about meme coins. There's no like official IP of like a meme coin, and it's just like a million people can make a Ross coin. So what happened if you scroll down? Apparently, like there was one Ross coin, and then there was another Ross coin. I think Ansem like tweeted the second one because it was pumping. And so there's like a war of Ross coins. Obviously, like they're both complete scams. Like this is like not official, you know, endorsed by anything. One tried to play this AI angle. So the one on the right, you can see has this like cyborg Ross coin thing going on.
It's an AI coin.
It's an AI coin. And then like what seems to happen is like these cabals try to like outbid each other in terms of like who's going to get more bots to trade and get the market cap higher. And then like whichever one wins. So this guy is like basically, I don't know who the hell this guy is, but he's like writing this thing. I had to cancel all my plans today to fight this war, but it was worth it. It was an honor to stand beside you. We won the war because their coin is at 28 million. The other one's at 20 million. I don't think there's like these redacted people know how the fuck this stuff works. And obviously if Binance lists, we saw what happened with Nero. There was one at like 300 million. They listed the one at 10 million because that's the one that they had supply of. So I don't know, like this stuff just kind of just yeah.
It's gross. I mean, we were talking a little before the show, like a lot of this stuff is a grift. And so like a lot of the times you end up being right, Thiccy, because like most of this stuff is a grift. But then there are also like these like long tail events that happen. And then just generally like the bullishness for Bitcoin, that like Bitcoin will flip gold. That's sort of like propping the industry up.
Yeah, I feel like when we started this podcast, I was like very idealistic about like ETH and like these crypto markets. And then we like every time I talk to Thiccy, I'm like, yeah, like what he says makes a lot of sense. But you know, sometimes like things pump super hard and like it's like what the fuck, right? But then it's just setting up for the MOAS, the MOAS.
In other news, we had Justin. This is kind of like the bull. This is how we know we're like late stage bull market. We got this Justin Sun tweet here. He's announcing, you know how you had like last cycle, right at the end of the cycle. I remember like Near was like the last thing that ever pumped, and then the market died forever. So last market we had the USDD stablecoin, and now he's saying USDD 2.0 is about to launch with 20% APY. That sounds very familiar. This 20% APY, fully subsidized by Trandau. And then he says, stop asking me where does the yield come from? It's simply because we have plenty of money. So don't worry where it's coming from. We're just giving it away because we got too much money. So here's 20% yield.
I mean, to be fair, though, that's actually like, you know, transparent and it's fine. You know, if they're just like fine paying it out like purely from their company treasury.
Yeah. It's the only like Ponzi stable that survived too. So Big up to Justin Sun.
Yeah, we have a question from Michael Violet. He says, Jordy, can you elaborate why you don't see WLD unlocks as egregious? So I mean, if you can bring up WLD, we can look at it. Indeed, like the float to the market cap percentage of FTV is quite low. I think it's still like around 10%. Yeah, market cap 2 billion. Fully diluted like 22 billion. So there's a few reasons. One, like even if it was 22 billion, I would still buy it. Like Sui's at 50, and this thing I think has much more differentiation and like potential to play a role in sort of like the coming AI future. So just like fully diluted, I still like it. But the other thing is that the market cap is not going to be like released in these like traditional ways where you just have these like 1 year cliff unlocks where everything gets unlocked. They're releasing them to like people as they're joining, and there's like some investors that are over the next 5 years going to be getting gradual unlocks, but they have I think like 20 million users, 25 million. It keeps going up like every month, like millions of users more. And if they give everybody like $100 of this thing, and they have these like apps to play with and spend it or swap it or whatever, that seems okay. Like just the way that it's going to get released to hundreds of millions of people, I think it's better than other unlocks. I know Thiccy, like WorldCoin has been like a short favorite of yours at time. I don't know if you've touched it recently. It seems to be like quite a bad idea to short it when it's near the lows, but curious what your current take is.
Yeah, I think it's like tough in this environment with Trump winning, and obviously like Sam Altman and AI just taking a much bigger seat in the mind share. I think what happens typically when when the supply looks like this is that like it represents sort of like a fixed sized hurdle, and it makes the return distribution look like like 80% of the time it doesn't do anything, but like let's say the 10-20% of the times that like it can capture enough attention and like overcome the supply, then it can like really let's say like go up really fast, like we saw in 2024 when it hit $12. So yeah, it's like it's hard to like convince yourself that like it's a great short just because of that tail case. You just get your face ripped off in case Sam Altman decides to really push this thing or something happens there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
I
really...
think he will push it. I am quite sure that he at the right time he's going to push it. Yeah.
It also strikes me as, I mean, you can see here like a lot of the vesting is over, like it's scheduled for over 15 years. And I think a lot of people, like they do get shocked by the market cap to FTV ratio, which is valid. Like you said, Thiccy, there's a huge hurdle to overcome. But at the same, like the flip side of that is like to achieve their goal, they actually do need to do slow distributions over a very long time. And I think it's sort of like one with the project at this point. Like I don't think there was another way to do the distribution and also get it out in the hands of the world. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, like since Thiccy's here, I want to ask more trading questions. But obviously, maybe the WorldCoin supply unlock schedule is, even though it's low flow, high FTP, maybe it's fine. But I think what caught everyone off guard is like Sui, right? Like Sui's like 50 bill FTV, even though there are unlocks. So I think, the classic MOAS setup is something like Sui, right? I think Light Crypto also tried shorting it at 20 bill and then now it's at 50. Like, how do you think about, like obviously, right? It's like you would think this would dump because of all the unlocks, but like maybe the insiders are like pumping it to Valhalla. How do you like touch something like this, Thiccy? Do you use this as part of your short leg, or is it more like, okay, like once we're in a bear market, like this is like you slam this hard, like as hard as you can because it's going to go like down 90% or something?
I haven't been shorting this coin because the FTV isn't as high as people think it is, just due to like who holds it. But it is like, it's an annoying phenomenon that happens like when a trend just continues for a really long time, is that like it just like creates like a super Christmas tree pattern. Like you see this when a trend is especially strong, like you saw it with Tia and you saw it with Hype, it just like severely overshoots, and then it just like goes all the way down again. And it's like, it's hard to short because like you don't really, the last leg is very parabolic, and like your risk grows a lot towards the end, so you just can't size as much. So even though the price is higher and it should be like a higher EV short, like when you're shorting, you're basically like betting on the worst case it one touches versus like where it settles, and it just makes the short a lot harder. So I think Sui is an example of that, where it's like kind of hard to short just given what it looks like.
It's similar to like the AVAX trade of last cycle, where it just like ran from like 10 to 130. I remember it went to 130. Like that last leg was insane. I remember shorting it. I shorted at 100. I was like, this has to be like a short. And just, I think I survived the 130. I just got out for scratch. I was just happy to stay alive, because that was a scary moment when it started like ripping. And it seems like a very similar situation where it's like an alt L1 that has some, people buying it, and it kind of builds on its hype. People are asking you about Fartcoin. Did you know, Thiccy, that Fartcoin is an AI coin? Were you aware of this fact?
I wish that I was on the podcast sooner, so I could have hopped on it when Thiccy was max.
But Thiccy, you don't believe. You would have fumbled it. You gotta believe.
I feel like Fartcoin is like a coin you long because you realize that all the crypto AI coins are like mostly vapor. It's like, so you might as well like punt the funniest thing.
Thiccy's like a Fartcoin billionaire, right?
No. Well, I'm not gonna. It's too early to celebrate. The job's not done. Job's not finished.
Have you sold
to flip
it?
all the animal coin? No, I've only bought. No.
Okay, let's bring this up. It's it's a little bit of a sensitive subject, but it ties into Thiccy's buying. This is how much Thiccy loves Fartcoin. He full stack Hitlered. I don't know if everyone's seen the drama with AICC. This is the Aiccelerate DAO that somebody thought it was a good idea to launch a pump DAO and sort of give a bunch of influencers unlock tokens. Thiccy got, how much you get? Two SOL worth of allocation. Do you want to tell us the story, Thiccy?
Yeah, I mean, but they DM me. It's like, hey, Thiccy, you want an allocation? I'm like, sure. I put 2 Solana in. Didn't think much about it. I woke up like a few days after. It was worth like 4K, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I just gently sold it for Fartcoin. I just
gently.
Well,
respectfully. He respectfully sold it.
The meme of the checkbox.
Yeah. Like,
did you guys get AICC allocations too, or is it just Thiccy?
Only Thiccy. Only this boy right here.
It's like a weird topic, right? I don't,
Yeah, I mean, look, the reality is, I think Kobe had the best take, and this is kind of, I wrote an article and I gently sort of like criticized the way it was structured. And I agree with Kobe's take. It's less about like the people who sold, because, if you have, he says maybe it's a hot unpopular take, but selling on day one is actually fine. If the rules of the token are no vesting, the person to blame is the people who created the stupid setup and the advisors, value-add investors who did not recommend a better one. I mean, I didn't put it as bluntly, but sure. He says, yeah, the only exception is if you did promote it extensively and then you dumped it on people. Obviously, like that's not good. But Thiccy, I don't think you ever talked about it or tweeted or said anything about it. So you're in the clean category of like, they just did this stupid thing where they gave me 400K and then I put it all into Fartcoin and doubled it.
And it's up 2x, almost 2x.
Not 2x, but yeah, eventually. Yeah, it's. It's weird, right? Because obviously, like, I'm in like a privileged position, and I didn't like promote it or anything. But I am open to using this Fartcoin for good. So I think one of my goals is to give this, like, so for example, like there's a FinTwit account called Doug Boneparth. He has like 300,000 followers, and I think the value of Fartcoin is that like the FinTwit accounts like talk about it. So I gave Doug Boneparth 1,000 Fartcoin, and now he's like, wow, thank you so much. You're so kind. So, I'm going to start fart pilling the FinTwit community. And so
when you say you're going to like do good things and give it to charity, you mean you're just going to promote Fartcoin even further? That's like the charity. It's the Fartcoin charity. Is what.
Send it to me, Thiccy. I'll put it to good use.
No. Fuck you, Justin. you're fine. You're fine. But I'll fart pill the boomers. I'll fart pill the boomers.
That was
He's slowly falling out of frame. He's back.
There's a tweet here asking us when we're going to get Trump on Steady Lads. He's a crypto advisor. Yeah, I mean, that'll be interesting if we ever get one of the Trump kids on. And someone's asking about Hyperliquid. I mean, look, I mean, yeah. I think we're all waiting to see what happens with this L1 kind of thing. You know, they have to transition from a perpdex to a generalized chain that is as good quality and keeps the UX high. And they're obviously very talented, so maybe they have a way to pull it off. But I don't know. Thiccy, have you been using Hyperliquid lately, or like you must have seen like the gangs of you know, at this point, religious followers?
Yeah, I've used it before. It's you know, it's good for like the pre-market stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think a diplomatic answer.
You know what I realized? You know what I realized, Shorty? It's like not worth it to like anger these people, because they get the
sad thing though.
I know they get so mad, and like it's just it's like I think there are two people in like, especially like on the project side, they're either like, you know, they're either retarded or they're dishonest. And like, yes, the more dishonest you are, like the more money you can make. But it's like you're like sacrificing your soul. And it's just like hard for me to like not be to say what I like authentically feel. And like I've gone to a point where it's like no amount of money can convince me to like lie, you know, and just say something I don't believe. So yeah,
I mean, I think this is why, you know, a lot of people, including myself, respect you. It's tough. I mean, obviously we've had people make alt accounts. We saw one of the big news of the week, and I don't have a strong take on this, so you know, I don't have much to say, but it's kind of come out that this big Twitter account that was a big Binance trader, I think, or Bybit, one of the two, was on the leaderboards. I think Binance. Aiccelerate, who had this name Eugene Ng, which ended up not being a very lucky name. So it turns out it's one of our previous guests. So this is like Daryl Wangarian, and you know, he's obviously like a fantastic trader, and he decided that instead of posting on his main account, maybe for some of the reasons Thiccy said, you know, he wanted like a more anonymous account to say some things, you know, without, you know, being directly linked to them. I wouldn't say like it's worked out perfectly. Obviously, he's in a bit of like a mess right now, and I think a lot of us are tempted, like a lot of us that are known are tempted to make an alt account and just spit our thoughts from that. But yeah, like even that, you know, it kind of gets tied to you at some point, and you're not really, I don't know. Have you been using alts, Thiccy, or not lately?
I've wanted to. And regarding the ENAS Wangarian situation, like I think Wangarian's a very good trader, and I thought ENAS is a very good trader as well. I can understand why. I didn't see this actually. I can understand why people are upset, but I also like totally understand where he's coming from. Where it's like, you know, he doesn't want to have his views. Like when you're trading the markets, you're just trading the truth, right? You don't want your views to be associated with, you know, if you have a VC firm, also there's like there's a different, you know, interest involved. So it's just like a complicated situation. I can see like both sides.
Yeah, I agree. It's complicated, and you know, don't have like a super strong take apart from just, you know, it's one of those things where showing that you're a good trader gets you a lot of attention, and then, you know, you use that to get people to look at the tokens that you're trading, and that's kind of okay. Like if you have a good trade and you want to share it with people and get the market to price it more quickly, theoretically that's the same as banks writing research reports about some stock. So like, you know, that in and of itself is kind of okay. And the reality is we haven't like really figured out in crypto where the lines are between like shilling your bags or disclosing, but what are you disclosing? They don't even know who you are. It's very unclear. It's all a mess. And there's no clear, boundaries. Even if you like talk about the law, like every law is different in every country, and who knows, it's sort of like going to be something that slowly over time people just figure out. I think it's like poker. In the early days of poker, if you were multi-accounting, for example, it was kind of okay because it was just you playing. And then that became like something really bad. We kind of like figured out that that's actually a way to extract a lot of EV out of tournaments. And so like I think naturally, like over time, the community will just sort of like figure out what is acceptable and what's not. So that's why it's so tricky, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that like this, you can make so much money per unit of influence in this industry, whereas like if you're just famous, let's say on TikTok or Instagram, it's like even if you have like millions of followers, you can only make, you don't make like orders of magnitudes less. Like I mean, Thiccy is an example where it's like if you're somewhat well known, you just get an allocation in AICC, and like you just it's like it's that easy. So it's something the industry is definitely grappling with. It's just like, what's doing.
But like the flip side is everyone listening has the ability to grow that influence themselves. Like it is a democratic system in that anyone can spin up an Anon account and get these allocations and build a brand for themselves, which like I do think is underappreciated, that you can put yourself in that position. It might not happen for you this cycle, but if you keep at it, next cycle you can be in that position too, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think
Kobe's Echo is trying to I think Kobe's Echo is trying to democratize that as well. Like, cause it is true that KOLs have like, more privilege. So you have this platform where maybe, people like person like me, right? Like I shared a deal recently and, people really liked it. And I didn't charge carry, right? And I think a lot of teams in the future will also want to raise their Echo over like some C tier VCs. So hopefully, it's like a sensitive topic. I think in the case of Daryl and Eugene, I'm biased because he's like a friend, but it feels like he didn't do anything like that egregious. People just want like a reason to be angry. But I guess I don't know.
By the way, guys, 650 live viewers. That's pretty sick. So like and subscribe while you're here, and we'll try to get Thiccy on again, and keep getting like a good guest like him. What do you think about Kaido? Yeah, what do you think about Kaido? Is that maybe because I don't think Echo is really democratizing to that extent, because everyone can only get like 1,000th of the allocation, but Kaido seems to be picking up a lot of meta of mindshare, because they're the mindshare of the mindshare, and they're all you could say like the negative thing, which is they're creating all these like incentives to just like LARP and Gap, as they call it, where you're just like blabbering about some specific token. On the other hand, they're creating some kind of fun, transparent way to measure this stuff. Thiccy, have you been looking at this Kaido stuff at all?
I've been meaning to, but I haven't. I think it's a useful tool.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I paid for it for a month and tried it, and I'm not a trader, so it wasn't too actionable for me, but it was fun to see like the trends and where mindshare is going. But you can sort of, just by living and breathing, being in this space, you kind of feel it yourself anyway. But it's useful. It's expensive though.
What did you pay for? I didn't know it's
like $2,000 a month, I think.
What are you paying for?
Basically, you get one dashboard that says what trend is the hottest and who's the most notable influencer of the week.
Can you go to their website? Like, isn't there just like a public leaderboard or something?
Yeah. Maybe I can sign in if I still have my account, but
yeah. So I know we're like at 45 minutes, but I'm reading the chat, and there's people that's asking Thiccy to say fellas, and I guess explain how MOAS is like a mindset, right? So can you just like touch on those 2 points there, Thiccy?
Yeah. Well, like fellas is like one of my catchphrases, so I'm guessing that's why I don't say it. But I think the MOAS is, I don't know. I had this thought the other day. I was like, I started rollerblading. I used to rollerblade a lot as a kid. And I started rollerblading again in the streets, and it was like really fun. And I was like, why did people stop rollerblading? Because I remember it being a big thing. And I like read up on it more, and it was like apparently it was a huge thing in the 80s and the 90s, where it's like 10% of all Americans rollerbladed in like 1995, and then by 2005, like it dropped by like 10x. Like people just stopped rollerblading. And I was like, wow, like these like trends and these fads kind of just like last for like a little bit of time, and they just like disappear, and it's just like they just forget about it forever, right? And that's what I think is going to happen with crypto. I still think this, and that's like I guess where the MOAS comes from, is just timing when it's just like peak optimism for the industry. I still in my heart of hearts believe that like there's nothing to come from this, and it's like all unproductive, and we're going to look back at it as like some like, 2010s, 2020s trend. So yeah, that's where the MOAS as a mindset comes from. So it's like, it's not like I'm just going to be a retard and just always just be short, because it just doesn't make any sense. But like, I just have this, like, I'm never going to accept it into my heart that like crypto is like gonna like, you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah,
it is like, I hear what you're saying, and in some ways I can relate to that, but I still fall back on Bitcoin being like a force for good, and I'm surprised that's not even something you can get on board with at this point.
I think there's nothing that Bitcoin can do that gold can't do.
That's not true though, right? I mean, you can actually self-custody Bitcoin. You can transfer it instantly anywhere around the world for very low cost. It can't be seized. It can't be censored. You can get out of a country. If you're in China, you can hold Bitcoin and leave. If you're in Russia, you can hold it and leave. If you're in South America, if you're in the U, like, you know what I mean? There's value to that. I mean, in some ways, it's a reg arbitrage.
We might need to save this discussion for another day.
All right,
it's a mindset. It's a mindset. Thiccy, I mean, MOAS is a mindset. It's you don't have to agree.
Wait, Thiccy, have you been following along in the chat? In the group?
Yeah, dude, I'm in the grand. You keep making new Telegram. I was in like V3 and then it's gone. And then someone's invited me to V4 and then you like delete your messages. And then every time the market dumps 3%, you're just like, motherfucker, like, this is the MOAS. This is the MOAS. And the market pumps, you delete your messages. In 2 weeks, it's gonna dump and you're gonna. But it's a mindset. Actually, Thiccy, inauguration in a few days. Sell the news. Sell the news? MOAS?
No, buy the rumor.
Taiki, there's like 5 people saying you should join V7. Apparently it's V7. Is that right, Thiccy? Everyone's saying V7.
There's no V7.
There's no V7.
I think it's like bad for my mental health to have that group chat. So I'm gonna like take a break from it for a while.
Well, make sure to add us when you spin it up again.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing with crypto. It's like, you can never leave, right? Like, I think Thiccy said, oh yeah, like I'm going to turn off my socials forever. And then 2 months later, it's like, actually, I made a grand exchange V3. It always comes like, you always come back to it. It's impossible to leave. It's like Hotel California.
We are social animals.
Yeah.
It's hard not to, it's hard to stay away.
We are social. Anyway, I mean, I think like, it's understandable what Thiccy's saying. And, even people who've been in the industry a long time, at times feel like this. I'm hoping that AI will fit into crypto as nicely as I expect it to, and some of the thoughtful teams will come out, doing something actually productive. So we'll remains to be seen.
Wait,
let's go ahead.
Wait, hold up. The chat's angry. Thiccy didn't answer the question. Is the inauguration sell the news? Or this is a question to Thiccy.
I'm not sure. I think it's very nuanced.
Fair.
We'll have to see. Like, we'll have to see what comes through, right? Like, we'll have to see what they announce, what executive orders come through.
Traders are so slippery. Can't hold them down to anything.
They're always hedged. They're always hedged.
It's never that easy, Justin.
If it was easy, everyone would do it. You're right.
My phrase for the year, like, that's gonna stick with me, is just it's gonna be investors' hell and it's gonna be traders' paradise. I think the people that leave money to buy dips, there are gonna be some aggressive dips and they're gonna be worth buying. But you gotta like flip long short, buy lows, sell highs, and I think traders will do incredibly well because the the opportunities will be there. Now, in terms of the inauguration specifically, if they don't come up with something that's actionable, I think we're probably a little bit overcooked. But if they announce something that is unexpected and is very positive, apart from just what we've seen, which is that they're saying they're going to make Bitcoin, or not just Bitcoin, but crypto a priority, like a strategic national importance priority, and like stop all the enforcement that's been happening by regulation. So I think if that's all we get, then we're maybe at the top. The other question is like Michael Saylor. He was supposed to be like in a blackout period, but then he started buying again, and like always seems to buy like higher than the market is, like way higher.
He's our hero.
So, yeah,
it's
like blackout.
No, it's funny because like MOAS is a mindset, Thiccy, right? And then Saylor has like the complete opposite mindset. He just like just buys tops, But both strategies can win, It's
I don't know. We'll see. There can only be one win at the end of the day.
There can only be one win.
I like it.
I could be wrong. I very well could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do some pastas, guys. Let's go with Justin. Maybe Justin, you want to kick off?
All right, I need a little comeback period. I brought a video, which is always a fan favorite. So there's been some talk of Danny Ryan, perhaps leading the EF, which we think is much needed. We need someone that actually uses the chain in charge. We need someone that's not focused on woke issues. And someone put this clip together of Danny Ryan on his first day back at the EF. So this is from Entourage. Here we go. Danny's back. Show me your Ethereum wallet now. Shoots this guy. No one at the EF even uses Ethereum. You don't use the chain? You're fired. Your fates have been sealed. Digital repatriation project. And just cleaning house. I was about to do my first swap.
Nice.
Yep.
The question is like, does Danny Ryan even use the chain? Do you know?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Don't ask these questions for the sake of our bags.
Yeah, you're right.
Ask questions like this.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Very good. I love an entourage.
Hey, did you just open it? Did you just take a bite out of a McDonald's burger? The short's down so bad you're eating a McDonald's burger?
It's egg thing from Starbucks.
Oh, okay. I take everything.
Okay. He's not down that bad. He can still afford
Starbucks.
I could be. Who knows? A rough quarter.
Rough quarter.
Yeah.
Taiki, you want to go?
Yeah. Well, I had like 3 pastas, and then Jordy just like flinged it during the pod, so I had to find like a emergency one. Justin, if you can pull up my screen, I feel like this is like a very good bold Leonidas thing, right? Like it's like in your first cycle, right? You just destroy yourself. Second cycle, you get wrecked by the third cyclers, and then it's like this virtuous cycle where the more you know, the more you are, the more likely you are to fit under the MOAS mindset. So yeah. Okay. That didn't really hit. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna lose.
I've had it happen before.
You're not gonna win.
Yeah.
You're not gonna win.
My pasta was the XRP one. That was my thing, and then I was like, "Fuck."
Damn. XRP one was good. That would have had a chance.
I got rugged, yeah, but it's okay.
That's the thinnest sandwich. It's a royale with cheese, guys. Come on. It's classic.
Wait, is there even protein in there, or is it like cheese and egg?
Thiccy went vegan.
No, that's not vegan, dude. Dude, there's like one tiny piece of bacon, dude.
You're a savage.
We miss you.
I think Thiccy's getting enough protein. Let's move on. Do we have a pasta from Thiccy? Do you have a submission, sir?
I don't. I'll have to be the judge. Let me see.
No, get one. Check your likes.
Yeah, Jordy, do you want to go? And then
are you still liking? Are you?
Wait, what?
Oh my god, it's hilarious. Where do I send it? I'll DM it
Just
to
put
you.
in the chat.
yeah, private
Yeah,
I
chat.
think you guys made a new chat without me. I don't know. If,
No, the fucking the StreamYard chat, dude.
I got it.
chat,
I
okay.
got it.
Okay,
We did kick Thiccy out of the chat. That's the.
I think they just made a new one. They didn't want to be rude and kick me. They made a new
that's what happened. That's what happened. We didn't kick him
Yeah.
out. We made a
one. I
new one.
appreciate that, guys.
We made a new one. Okay, so is this Thiccy's one?
This is Thiccy.
Oh, Martin Shkreli's down over 2.3 million
Look
today.
at his face.
Oh god, that's an American psycho right there.
But look at Good Alexander's. Look at Good Alexander's. He tagged me in this.
Study that look. Do you want to live your life as a bear, or do you want to ride the spiritual bull?
That's the vibe.
Yeah.
This
The
this
good
this is a
Alexander's been killing it. He's long XRP, fantastic.
Thiccy, do you
That's a
ever
good
think to yourself, like, it would be so much easier for my mental health and my happiness to just be a bull and ride the crypto bull train with everybody?
No,
No.
No.
I think this is just my role in the world. You know, is just to short crypto.
Look, you're
And-
going to be right in 2025. You're going to be right. So it is what it is.
Sometimes I'm more right than other times, and you know, it's okay as long as I don't blow up. Just keep shorting crypto.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
my authentic, true self.
Yeah. Thiccy makes markets efficient, you know. It's his role.
more efficient. Yeah, they're obviously not efficient. You know, when you look at crypto markets, the last word I would use, but I think Thiccy plays a small part on getting us 1 inch closer to efficiency. All right. Well, I have the pasta winner of the week. I saw this and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna reserve this as my pasta because this is tier A, like quality premium spaghetti right here. Can we bring this up? Thomas says, guys, like, yeah, if we get a strategic reserve, Bitcoin could challenge $1 million this cycle, and it would be bullish for ETH too. 4K is in play.
Man, so
GG
brutal.
guys. Thanks for trying. Thanks for participating. You know, I appreciated the challenge, but when I saw that, I'm like, I gotta put my stamp on this one. This is just too good.
I voted for
So
myself.
You voted for.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Votes are coming in.
Wait,
Already
actually,
51 votes.
if I can ask a question for you guys, like what odds do you think there is for the markets? Like, is there a chance where ETH never hits all-time highs, and like we top for the cycle? I'm not saying it's like we've topped right now, but like in the future, right? Is there a chance? Like, what? I think the odds are like a lot higher than what people think. It's definitely not zero. What do you guys think? Am I too bearish?
That the ETH top is in, or that
Well,
that
like
the whole market top
like-
is in?
no, like ETH won't hit an all-time high this cycle. Like 4,800, like 5K. You think that's possible?
It's
That's
at
brutal.
least 50%. I mean, it feels
It's
like
at
a
least
50-50.
50%.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would put it at a 50-50. I
Jeez,
don't
that's
think
crazy.
we're early in the cycle unless you know, they do some crazy stuff with the US government, but macro wise, I'm very convinced that we're not early. Like, look at these 10-year bonds. They're just like, no one's buying them. And there's so much supply to come. It's not, we're not early. So I do think crypto will outperform TradFi, you know, regardless of it being oh yeah, GCR is 10K ETH, maybe. But
Thiccy
it might not
defeated
be
him.
this at times. But I don't know. I don't know if this is the cycle that we get 10K ETH. I think it looks a little bit out of range right now. How's our poll doing?
You might
It
be
looks
slightly
like
winning.
Jordy and
what
Thiccy
the
are
fuck?
neck and neck. 108 votes. There's 650 listeners though. We gotta get these
Thiccy's
numbers up.
But Thiccy voted for himself.
my God.
But
Oh yeah, so it's still time.
I'm at 7. Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
Damn.
Wait. Yeah,
I might lose this.
Same question for you, Thiccy. Do you think what are the odds like ETH won't hit an all-time high this cycle?
I don't know. I think I've stopped trying to think about it. I think Bitcoin. I could see a case where Bitcoin goes to 500K. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fair.
Yeah, shorting Bitcoin, I've said many times, is just a tail risk that, some crazy announcement, some country, something happens, and it's just game over. You don't want to be in that spot. So, if it's some altcoin that's gonna have some crazy supply dynamics, then go ahead. But yeah, shorting Bitcoin, scary, I would say.
Also
guys, yeah.
So I just joined Grand Exchange V7. It does exist.
I don't know what that is. It's not like officially sanctioned.
It's not an endorsed. It's a bootleg.
It's bootleg Grand Exchange.
Yeah. What the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's keep it underground. Too much alpha, guys. I think I've met my match. Thiccy has actually won the pasta. So
the MOAS.
They're just doing it because I'm back.
47%. I mean, it was neck and neck, and then like as soon as we put it up, just the last 20 votes all went to Thiccy. So clearly, the fan favorite is Thiccy.
You know what this episode reminded me of? Like when we had Thiccy on the podcast, all of our takes were so bearish, and then we became hyper bulls when Thiccy left, and now he's back and everyone sounds so bearish. Jordy's like, ETH's not hit 50% chance, no all-time highs, end of the cycle, macro looks bleak. We need like a Super Bowl on next week.
Not YouTube.
What's
Yeah.
that?
What was that?
It's supposed to be YouTube. You and Thiccy.
Yeah, me and Thiccy are kind of like the more market neutral kind of types. You guys are supposed to be the moon boys.
Well,
Fair enough.
I'm only moon boy for Farcoin right now.
I mean, ETH hasn't done anything in like 7 years, so at some point.
All right, I'm gonna have to do this to you, Thiccy. Before we go, I know you don't want to give, too much alpha, but maybe just in terms of mindset. People are trading, markets are active. I've talked personally about the mindset of try to be early. Like if you're not sure if you're early, then like don't take a trade. There's always another trade, and you don't have to worry about not having enough trades. Any words of wisdom, like just philosophically about trading these markets, these crazy crypto markets?
I think it's the same sort of idea. Is that like I think that like thinking that this is the last trade or like your last chance to make it, and no matter the direction, bullish or bearish, is like a perfect recipe to take on too much risk and emotionally wreck yourself and like miss opportunities. I think it's important to be selective in the trades you take. Make sure they're like high conviction, just like good setups. And if you miss it, it's fine. I think for this year, it's important for me, at least. I told myself it's important to live more in the moment, and enjoy the journey instead of like just trying to kill myself, trying to make a certain amount of money, and telling myself that like I'll be eternally blissful once I have this arbitrary threshold of dollars. I think that is I think it's like a made up fairy tale, and I think it's just better to just take each day as it comes and be grateful that we're in a market with so much opportunity.
Wow,
I love it. Thiccy, we miss you, bro. Thank you for coming.
What's the alert?
You're always curious on what it is. Let's see.
Yeah, you have to share. This is the final alpha of the.
Just every time that fucking Lummis tweets, I have to get a call. It's kind of stupid.
Lummis. All right, we got to check the Lummis tweets. Like and subscribe, guys. Thanks for joining. We're gonna go trade some Lummis tweets, and we'll catch you next week. See you,
Bitcoin
everybody.
Reserve.